What's up, peeps? Julian Williams here with The Distance. I did say my other two videos were going to be my last two, but then I got into the rhythm of making videos again. So pretty much this is a fight I haven't really thought much about. And this one is Andy Lee versus Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. And in all reality, kind of forgot about this fight just because I haven't thought about this fight because I forgot about it. Like pretty much, this is actually a very good fight. We've been saying over the last few months, or on a fight-by-fight basis, that Chavez continues to face people that were a step up in competition. Andy Lee definitely is a step up in competition. He's a southpaw. He has good skill, very good technique, and pretty much in a very powerful left hand. One thing that will be the determining factor in this fight is the size of the ring, because with a bigger ring, Andy Lee can dance like New Edition in the If It Isn't Love video. He can dance around the ring. He can twist and turn, create his angles, create certain spaces. He's definitely gonna be able to feint a lot. In a smaller ring, that's Chavez's advantage due to the fact that Chavez is a pressure fighter, and he does fight well in close quarters. He fights well in close quarters. And even if you give him a little room, he's able to capitalize off that little room that you give him. Very powerful left hook, whether it's to the body and whether it's up top. He does have a good chin. He can take a punch and he can definitely give a hard punch back with either left or right hand. So this is a dangerous fight for Lee, and it's a dangerous fight for Chavez. One thing about pretty much, and I'll start the fight off for Andy Lee. In this fight, Andy Lee's gonna have to throw a lot of feints in this one. Being that he's facing a pressure fighter, so he's gonna have to throw a lot of feints and kind of move his body and try to catch Chavez with numerous left hands. He's gonna have to make Chavez continuously turn in the fight and also try to catch him with the right hook off the back foot. Lee does fight well off the back foot. He does fight well laterally. He has a good long jab. He gets good leverage off his right hook, whether it's off the front foot or whether it's off the back foot. I think fighting off the front foot might be a little bit trouble for Lee in this fight, just being that he's facing a pressure fighter, a fighter that's trying to get his head on his chest. So he's gonna have to keep Chavez at bay with the jab. He's gonna have to hit him with a lot of jabs, and he's gonna have to get his rhythm early in the fight, keeping Chavez at the end of the jab and keeping him at the end of the left hand. I think that for Lee in this fight, is pretty much this majority of his of his punches have to be straight, and his movement has to be very disciplined. He has to be very coordinated in this fight, to where he's not backing himself up on the ropes, to where he's creating angles in the ring and kind of keeping Chavez at the center of the ring and not letting Chavez get off first, and actually trying to stay as far back as possible from Chavez. I think that the punch that's going to be there for him is going to be, of course, it's going to be the jab, but at a certain range, that left hand is going to be there. And also, Lee does well throwing the left hook to the body. And I think occasional left hooks to the body are going to work for Lee in this one, just being that he does have decent power in his left hand. And pretty much that's really all I can say for Andy Lee. Keeping his punch, standing tall, keeping the punches straight, using the feint to kind of draw Chavez in for the left hand, and also try to avoid the clinch a lot. And if he does clinch, he has to definitely tie those arms up, because Chavez is strong and he has a lot of energy. And this is, from the mid to late rounds, I see Lee going in there and just fighting a very technical fight. And that's pretty much what he wants to do. And on the other hand, you have Chavez. Chavez, as I mentioned, has a good chin, decent power with both hands, could take a punch to give you a hard punch right back. He's there to fight. Like you can tell just by looking at Chavez, he's there to fight. He does have a few fundamental flaws, but he does make up for that in power and toughness. And of course, power and toughness doesn't always win fights. Definitely it's skill. And in this particular fight, he has to put relentless pressure on Lee. He has to keep Lee, he's going to have to keep Lee off on his back foot the entire fight, despite the fact that Lee throws well off the back foot. If you don't give Lee too much room, then he doesn't do too well off the back foot. If you don't give him too much room, he has to fight this one close. I think that the left jab is going to be a key punch for is going to be a key punch for Chavez, but also the right hand. Of course, you can throw the right hand on a southpaw, you know, and I think that the lead right hand, because Chavez is going to be 185, 190 pounds coming in fight night, so he's going to have to put a lot of weight into that right hand. He's going to have to use that left jab to kind of feint with it, and just lean into the right hand just throughout the fight. And that's pretty much going to be one shot. But also with southpaw, the left hook is another shot that you can land on a southpaw. And I think he has to feint with his jab and hit him with the left hook, and try to put put Lee down. And I think he could very well win the fight if he feints with his left, applies relentless pressure, continue to walk forward, and try to walk down Andy Lee throughout the fight and just throw punches at him, punches in volume. And I think he could very well win this one. So who I think is going to win this fight? As much as I like Andy Lee, and as much as I've wanted to see this fight for the longest time, if you asked me this three months ago, I would have said, you know what, I think Andy Lee is going to win this fight. But I think that Andy Lee, even though he does have good spurts late, and even though he does have good power, I think Chavez will be able to take his shots, and I think Chavez will go in and he'll win a unanimous decision just by relentless pressure on Lee. So anyway, peeps, I'm going to go with Chavez decision. So anyway, peeps, that was the distance. Thanks for watching. Peace.